Welcome again, and hope you guys are doing well. This time we're going to deeply look at a specific international team in the gaming series and their progress in the recent years. Giving you a hint, they were great achievers in the past but now finding it difficult to do it regularly. You would be definitely right. It's about the men from the island nation of Sri Lanka. As implied, looking at the initial years of the gaming series, the Sri Lankan team have had incredible accomplishments, such as winning the 2015 Cricket World Cup, and reaching the semi-finals of the 2014 and 2016 World T20 tournaments, and the 2017 Champions Trophy. They also happened to reach a couple of Asia Cup finals, win an ODI tri-series as well as a few bilateral contests. But things slowly started to turn around from the 2019 edition of the World Cup, where they couldn't make it past the group stage, and lost a couple of bilateral series. That could still be considered as a usual setback, but it kept going further heading on to the Asia Cup 2020, where they could only get a single win. However, the actual reality check and exposure of Sri Lanka's underperformance was clearly felt in 2021 during the T20 World Cup, when the team was taken over by Naraparedi Muralidhar as their manager. After securing a victory against Netherlands, they got bowled out by Ireland for just a paltry 95, eventually losing to them and missing a place in the Super 10 round. With all due respect to the team and management, they have been mostly struggling since then and having certain inconsistencies with their performance. The only bright moment being their tag of reaching the final of the recent ODI World Cup. Apart from that, there wasn't a lot to remember. After the disappointing T20 campaign, they went to play 15 test matches for the inaugural edition of the PGE World Test Championship, which were all simulated with only the results and scorecards being shown. But out of that, they could only gain 2 victories, and finished at the rock bottom of the table. A few of their losses were pretty heavy as well. Refreshing and coming into the new year, they still couldn't show any sign of recovery, as they were clean swept by New Zealand in their ODI and T20 bilateral series. They were even finding it hard to gain a single win, even after coming quite close to it. The best example would be the first T20, where they dominated most of the game and actually deserved to win, but eventually lost the plot and ended up on the wrong side of the result. Their batting was somewhat great in the second ODI, which brought them closer to the target than expected, but in the other games it was just forgettable. They next toured England, where they faced the same results in the first 2 crucial matches, but as a consolation we tried our bench strength for the dead rubbers in the ODI and T20 series. As a result, they could execute better and finally managed to get good results. This was just the confidence they needed before hosting the Asia Cup after that. But that was also short-lived, as they had a good amount of struggle in their matches, almost losing to debutants Oman and associates Hong Kong. They also got hammered by India and Afghanistan, the top 2 sides in the tournament, and finally managed to grab a convincing win against Pakistan after being eliminated. They got ranked 14th in the final T20 standings for that year before the T20 World Cup, just managing to qualify for the event. They continued their good form in their first round of matches, against Ireland and Scotland, avenging their loss against the former. It made them improve by qualifying for the Super 10 this time. Unfortunately, the good path for them didn't go any longer as they finished winless, just like these other qualifiers. Quite a few inconsistencies in their players' form were also visible. They definitely needed a change of fortune, and it became more intense as they were heading on to 2023. They had a great win against South Africa in the first test of their home series, but lost the second, thereby not being able to win the series. The ODI series went close for them in every single game, but still fell short of winning by collapsing frequently. They had a couple of ODI tours later in the year as well to prepare for the World Cup, where they drew against the Dutch and lost to the Caribbean, only managing to grab 1 victory in each. Their hard time to even get a series win became more prevalent after that incident, but thanks to the new point system developed, they managed to gain enough points to directly find a place in the World Cup. Now all left for them was that mega tournament held in India. They had a few bad moments with the bat and the ball, causing them to lose their first 2 encounters. But then, they finally stepped up and held on to the situation to clinch their final 2 must-win games and qualify for the knockout stage after a long while. This was regarded as a dream-come-true moment for them, according to their manager. They recorded an incredible run chase against the hosts in the semi-final, who were previously undefeated. This made them qualify for their second ODI World Cup final. But unfortunately they did not have a good performance there, leading to a hefty loss which gave South Africa their first World Cup win in this format. They sadly seemed to come back to what they were used to in the last couple of years, as they got defeated by 10 wickets in the one-off test against West Indies later, despite giving fight in the middle, and couldn't grab a series win in the ODIs against Hong Kong recently. They finally managed to grab one in the recent one-off T20 match, also marking their return to this format after more than a year. This happens to be their first bilateral series accomplishment in the span of several years. Yes, you heard that right. That's an undesirable record they've had, as they last won a series against Pakistan, which was back in the year 2017. Even though they found success in a few other aspects after that, they found it tough in this field. As an overall picture, since 2021 they have not been one of the fortunate sides, as they had issues of inconsistency. Even if we do consider the 2024 World Cup, it could not be the best kind of domination we can see, as they still managed to lose the first two group games. They made the cut by some good performances only at a short span of time, but if we talk about maintaining it for longer, it makes it difficult for them, as we had seen in the final, and in the post-series as well. But in the midst of this hard period, certain players showcased their talents, such as Angelo Matthews in the Asia Cup, Avishka Fernando in the T20 World Cup, and a few others in the ODI version, including Chandamal Shanaka, Deekshana, and Pathirana. It is to be seen how they would recover or proceed after this time, in their future plans and outings. That'll be it for this video. Thanks a lot to their own manager for suggesting it, and wishing the entire team good luck ahead.